This is the town with no exit. While driving through a very rural area, Grace, a young woman from the city, came across a town that wasn't on any map. She thought it was just a small, quiet town in the middle of nowhere. So she decided to stop by and see what it had to offer. As she drove through the main street, she noticed that all the buildings were old and abandoned, like the town had been deserted many years ago. But then, she saw a group of people standing outside what seemed to be the only building in town that was still open. It was a gas station, convenience store type place. And, as she got closer, she saw that they were waving at her to come inside. At first, Grace was hesitant, but she was also kind of curious about this town and its people. So she pulled up to the door and stepped out of her car. The people immediately began asking her questions about where she was from and why she was in town. They were all very friendly, almost to the point where it felt fake. Grace could have sworn she saw one of them smiling, but when she looked again, their smiles had vanished. The air was still and silent, like nobody had ever spoken a word out of place. When she finally got a chance to look inside the store, she saw that it was filled with the same assortment of dusty, abandoned products that lined the shelves of the buildings on the main street. What was going on here? Was this some kind of bizarre small-town cult? Had she stumbled into some kind of a danger zone? She turned to go back to her car, but as she walked past the door, she saw a sign that read, "Welcome back, Grace. You always return." She turned back to face the people who were now staring at her, their faces expressionless and emotionless, like they were soulless beings from another planet. One of them slowly stepped forward and said, "You're not supposed to be here." Then they all began to chant, "She's not supposed to be here. She's not supposed to be here." Their voices echoed in her ears as she turned and ran to her car. She fumbled for her keys, but they were gone. She searched frantically for them, but they were nowhere to be found. In a panic, she jumped into the driver's seat and slammed the door shut. But as she looked around, she realized that all the roads looked the same. Every road she had passed on the way into town now looked like the road leading out of town. She could feel the eyes of the townspeople boring into her back as she drove in circles, knowing that no matter which way she turned, she would never escape this place. She had become trapped in the town with no exit.